if we even needed this, but I wanted to make sure. My name is Chuck Morris, and I'm President and CEO of AEG Live, the Rocky Mountain region. We're the people responsible for the Mile High Music Festival at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. And we've called this press conference to explain the situation that has arisen in the last month or two that we feel will be very detrimental to the success of our festival and possibly even keeping the festival at Dick's and other future things that we have on tap for Commerce City, who have, I'll just say very quickly, have been terrific. The people of Commerce City and the government have welcomed us with open arms, and we love our relationship, so it has nothing to do with them at all. In fact, we want to do more business there. Anyway, I want to introduce my cohort here, who's Executive Vice President of Kroenke Sports, Mr. Paul Andrews.
I'm sorry, Chuck, can you move a little also, please?
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much.
First of all, thank you to all of you who have come today. I think this is a tremendously important issue for all of us to understand, and the ramifications of which, as Chuck was beginning to describe. Really, from the Kroenke Sports Chair, this tax would hurt attendance out of Dick's Sporting Goods Park. We're not only convinced of that, we are sure of that. And that would impact the revenue generated by the stadium, thus impacting the Commerce City economy and the revenue streams back to the city. Number two, the tax will hurt business development around the stadium, as we're responsible for the over 200 acres that surround our stadium currently out at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. We're responsible for the retail development out there. We have lots of plans that have been reviewed and lots of individuals that are interested, many of which would not be interested should this 8% tax pass. Number three, I want to make sure we all understand Kroenke Sports Enterprises through Kroenke Sports Charities and the Denver Nuggets Community Fund and the Colorado Avalanche Community Fund. We've given over $35 million to local charities since 1992. So we're very passionate about giving and supporting local charities, but having a city tax created to support a nonprofit of any kind is fundamentally wrong. KSE supports many local charities, and I invite you to review our charities report to the community, which I've brought in for all of you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Where are we here? The tax on our ticket prices will increase for a two-day ticket, upwards of more than $15 for 2 days and almost $10 for one. We are in a major recession. Some people call it a depression. For every dollar that tickets go up, we not only lose business but can't pay for the really expensive acts that made our concert so successful last year. We did almost 90,000 people, and the site turned out to be terrific, and we'd like to continue. But when you have an increase in tickets like that, we have to take a long look at the impact it would have on us putting millions of dollars up to do it. You know, we built a city there, and it is not cheap. And having close to 50 acts, that's not cheap. And adding that kind of money to a ticket, we have to review the whole situation. I may also want to add that because of our experience with the City of Commerce City, the government officials and the people there, we are talking about doing a second festival there of different musical genre in 2010 on a different weekend. We're also, there's certainly rumors about us possibly building some kind of new club or mini arena in this community. Commerce City is very short on a list. Having an 8% tax on entertainment, which not only will hurt us, will hurt movie theaters, will hurt bars that charge covers, it's my understanding, will hurt a whole bunch of things, will be so detrimental. It was great when my first meeting with City Council and the mayor and other government officials, they opened up their arms to us, and they were so excited about economic development, and I was so excited to be part of it. In fact, I volunteered and hoped to be on a committee to bring in more economic development to Commerce City. But this, which came out of the I was blindsided by it, and it was my understanding that the Boys and Girls Club, by the way, is an organization that we've supported and given tickets through the years. So, and they were not responsible for putting it on the ballot, which is very interesting. But I really think obviously if we move this festival and future festivals and any other buildings, it's gonna be a huge impact, negative impact on Commerce City. And I think this tax is misguided. I think it also, it sort of is an impact on just certain people, on the soccer fans and the soccer moms who are going there have to now pay a considerable amount more, on the kids and adults that come to our festival, all of a sudden have to pay another $8 to $15 more, you know, and other people, like people who own movie theaters and other things like that, to go to one charity. You know, Paul talked about his charity. I just want to give a real quick list of some of the things I've done in the 3 companies that I've ran in this town, and doing concerts since 1970. I was responsible for the Dave Matthews Show at Red Rocks for Katrina, which raised $1.5 million. I was on the American Transplant Foundation. We did concerts for Steve Farber's great organization, which I'm a member of, and raised a whole bunch of money. Concerts for Kids, we were lucky enough to be involved with Walter, with the Eisenberg family, and started that with a whole bunch of concerts the first couple of years. The Kemp Foundation, I just did a big show and benefit last year. Colorado Biz Bash, which is Colorado Business Bank's charity concerts. We worked on that for 8 years. And recently, 2 weeks ago, we were involved in the Medal of Honor Society show that we put together at the Pepsi Center with Carrie Underwood and Randy Travis and a whole bunch of people, which was terrific for that organization. I can go on and on, but I won't give you the long list. But it's quite involved, as Paul said. We are very involved in charitable work. I feel it's my responsibility to give back, and want to, but I do feel this is sort of misguided, and to give the taxpayers, and then just a portion of the taxpayers, a tax that will go to one organization as opposed to all of them. I mean, I would, you know, I would see us getting involved in maybe putting government officials and the private sector together to raise money for all the charities in Commerce City, and I'd love to get involved in that. I've never turned down some charity requests because I'm very blessed to do what I do for so many years that I feel like I want to give it back. So I wish it would have been done that way, and I was sort of in shock when that happened. Anyway, the last thing I want to mention is the Denver seat tax. There's a little bit of confusion. Denver seat tax, which is on only in Denver parks and theaters and arenas, not in Invesco Field, and not in the Pepsi Center, and not in Fiddler's Green, and not in places like that. That money goes back to fixing up those places. And I think the patrons, and I've done over 1,500 shows at Red Rocks in my career. As you see the great improvements at Red Rocks, I think people in some ways are okay with that because they see how Red Rocks has changed and it's so much nicer now. This tax goes to a great charity, which, by the way, we've given tickets out for years to, and help them in a lot of ways. I just don't think it's right, fair, or I just don't think it's the right thing. Anyway, I'm going to hand it over now to a concerned citizen from Commerce City, Ms.